Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to show you how to play 5 classic riffs. Before each riff I'll play it full screen so you can see me play it. Then we'll go in close and I'll break it down. A few different guitars I'm going to use. Pull up a chair, sit tight. Hope you enjoy and hope you learn something. See you at the end. The first one we're going to look at is an absolute classic, Smoke on the Water. Smoke on the Water, probably one of the most commonly played riffs in music shops and the like. And the way that Ritchie Blackmore played it, doesn't use a plectrum on this. Obviously he's got his plectrum in his hand, but he will tuck it and he will use his thumb and first finger. What we're going to play, a series of double stops. Now again, I mentioned this in another video, double stops is where you play 2 strings at the same time. So we're going to hold down the 5th fret of the A string and the 5th fret of the D string, and do that with our fingers, thumb and first finger, playing those 2 strings. Then with our index finger we're going to hold down the 3rd fret of the D and the G strings, so we get. Then we're going to hold down the D and the G strings in the 5th fret. Then we're going to repeat the first 2 chords. Okay, so then we're going to hold down the 6th fret of the D and the G strings. That there. Then we're going to move it back 1 fret and hold the 5th fret D and G strings. Okay, so far we've got then we do the first 3 chords again and then back, and then it repeats. So all together. Yeah, classic. The second one we're going to look at is almost as classic as the first one. This is Paranoid by Black Sabbath. Paranoid, Black Sabbath, another belter of a riff. We start that on the 7th fret of the A string, and we're going to hold down the A string and the D string on the 7th fret, like that. So those 2 notes there, we're going to hold those down, play them at the same time. But what we're going to do, we're not going to really hear this note as such. It's like what you might call a grace note. This one here on the D string, and we're going to hammer on with our ring finger or our 3rd finger onto the 9th fret of the D string. So we get this. Do you see that? So very slowly. The next thing we're going to do is play the 7th fret of the D string, hammer on to the 9th fret of the D string, and then pick the 7th fret of the G string, and then hammer on to the 9th fret of the G string as well. So we're doing these 2 hammer-ons, one from the 7th of the D to the 9th of the D, and one from the 7th of the G to the 9th of the G. Okay, so it's going to go like that. Then we're going to play the 7th fret of the G, pick that, and then we're going to pick the 9th fret of the D, which will finish the riff off completely. So all together. The verse riffs, if you like, are E power chord. So we're going 7th fret of the A string, 9th fret of the D string, and again I just like these 2 finger power chords, and we're going down to the 5th with the same shape, up to the D string with the same shape, back to the A string, and then back to the 7th fret of the A string. So classic riff number 3, Highway to Hell by AC/DC. Gotta love it. AC/DC, Highway to Hell. We start off with a power chord down here, so it's like an open power chord. You've got an open A. You're going to put your finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, and you're going to also try and hold down the 2nd fret on the G string. Okay, we don't want the major third in there, so we don't want an A chord. So we start off with 3 hits. Okay, so we've got 3 hits on that A power chord. Then we're going to play a D over F sharp. This is a typical AC/DC chord. So the way we do that is we put our first finger on the low E string in the 2nd fret. We mute the A string with the underside of that finger. The D string can stay open, of course it's a D over F sharp. Then we put our 2nd finger in the 2nd fret on the G string, our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and then that string is muted, sorry, the E string is muted by the underside of this finger, and we get this chord. So what we get so far is 2 hits on that. Now we're going to play a G5, a G power chord after that, but we're going to simplify it by just moving that finger, putting it on the low G. We can even leave that finger there if we want, but we lift that off. Everything else stays the same. We're still muting this string with the underside of that finger, open D, open G now, which is fine because it's a G chord. And then we hit that once. So we get, okay, so far we have this. Then that repeats, and again, and then back to there, back to the A. Okay, so very slowly. The fourth riff we're going to look at, I'm going to do in two parts. I'll do the clean part and then the overdriven, distorted part. Okay, this is Enter Sandman by Metallica. The clean and the distorted parts are basically exactly the same notes, just a slightly different approach as to how you play them, of course. So we'll start off with the clean one. Kicks off with an open E, followed by 7th fret on the A string, then the 5th fret on the D string. So we have, you can let the notes ring out, that's absolutely fine. Then the next two notes is the 6th fret on the E string, followed by the 5th fret on the E string. So we have, then to finish off the riff, we have the 7th fret on the A string once again. So what we have now is, and now the overdriven part. Nice. For the overdriven part, as I said earlier, it's the same notes, just a slightly different approach, and we've got a power chord as well down here. So if we kick off, we've got an E power chord, which is open E, and then the 2nd fret of the B string. Okay, and then what we want to do is mute the D string with the underside of this finger, and then we hit that twice, like that. Then we slide up to the 7th fret of the A string. Then we play the 6th fret of the E, followed by the 5th fret of the E. Then the last riff bit down here is a palm muted riff. Palm muting I covered in one of my other videos. You put the palm just on the bridge section of the guitar there, so the fleshy part of your hand just sits on the strings in front of the bridge. So you go from you get that kind of effect. So this riff at the end is done like that, and the first note we're going to play is a G power chord. Okay, so the first note is kind of not palm muted, if you like, so it's, and then it becomes palm muted after that. So we have the G, then we play open E and A, palm muted. Then we have an F sharp power chord, so we get like that. And then we take our finger off here, keep palm muting, so we're playing open strings again. Then we hit the F sharp again. Then we come up to the G, like that. So we get back down to the F, and then it starts again. Okay, so slowly again. So when you play that F sharp, you open the fingers there ever so slightly, keep it palm muted, and you play the open strings. So if we put that all together, we get give it a go. The fifth and final riff we're going to look at is one of my personal favourites, Judas Priest, Breaking the Law. Up close once again, Judas Priest, Breaking the Law. Starts off with an open A, so your open A string, then we'll take the second fret on the A string, and then the third fret on the A string. So that'll be, and then we kind of repeat it again, so it's like a syncopated time frame. Okay, then we go down to the F, up to the G, and then the open A. So that, again, that same sort of rhythm. That follows. Go back to the G, and then C, and then B. Third fret on the A string, second fret on the A string. So, and then it all repeats. So nice and slowly. And again. Give it a go. Well, I hope you enjoyed those 5 classic riffs and that you got something from it. You managed to learn some new stuff. Even though they're old riffs, you never know. You can always pull something from it. Please like and subscribe if you liked the content. Feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll keep doing what I do. So thanks for tuning in. See you next time.